Well, let's get this party started.
Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Zeno Damus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype.
Yeah, Blood Axe.
All right. And yeah, we'll get started. I guess we're going to start off with, I mean, we've been going for a month, a little over a month, I guess, a month and a half.
Nobody missed us.
And we're back. I'm in black. All right. Except for Blood Axe, he's in gray. Got a black cap, though.
Yeah. I'm in gray.
Hey, Blood Axe has had a good last week. He saw the Miami Dolphins win.
All right, let's move on to the spoilers. Blood Axe, you want to give out the spoiler warning?
Yeah, so everyone watching the video on YouTube, those of us on the Twitch chat, we are going to get into spoilers here now. So if you want to stick around for spoilers, great. If you want to keep everything kind of hush-hush as best you possibly can, then definitely go ahead and bounce out now, or you can pause and go watch it and come back, and then you can participate in the conversation with us as well. But yes, so now we're getting into the spoiler section, which I will say, I think the person that stole the show, in my opinion, is Doc Ock. What the redemption story they did for him was absolutely phenomenal. I was really impressed with the way they were actually able to turn his story around. The actor's name is escaping me at the moment, unfortunately, but the way that Tom Holland, the way Spider-Man approached the multiverse situation, I thought was very unique. I never would have thought they would have gone the path of trying to cure all the other Spider-Man's villains' problems, which was something that, again, it blew my mind. They were going down that path, but it was also very humbling, as opposed to what we've traditionally seen is, okay, they're a bad guy, we're going to fight, and then we're going to kill them, or they're going to die, or whatever in the end. But in this case, no, we're not going to kill them, because if we send them back, we're sentencing them to death. Let's try to cure them, give them a chance. And I thought it was really touching. It really was. But Doc Ock, man, he was absolutely phenomenal.
Well,
go ahead.
My thing is yeah, I agree. Doc Ock, definitely awesome. And I mean, I just wanted to mention some on Doc Ock. I mean, this is a character obviously pulled from one of the other trilogies of Spider-Man movies. And I was actually shocked that adding the age to Doc Ock really solidified the character, though. Like he's an older actor now, but he really matches
the comic.
Yeah, I really like the extra age on Doc Ock. It was good to see, and yeah, I just wanted to add that his look was just amazing.
And
Alfred Molina is his name, Alfred Molina, and he has been a phenomenal actor. I think probably my favorite movie he was in was The Man Who Knew Too Little with Bill Murray. He was hilarious in that movie. But the way that he was able to turn the villain to the good guy, and it was really fascinating to see his range in that character. Between that and William Dafoe as the Green Goblin, Osborn, he hadn't lost it. I mean, the
was William Dafoe good?
Back and forth. It was almost like they stopped filming Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and they immediately filmed his stuff for this all at the same time. So he was absolutely phenomenal. So we're bouncing all over the place because we're so excited. But
well, I mean, I noticed you talking about the villains a lot, and that is because I mean the villains did almost steal the show. Like they took villains, some of which were pretty bad villains as far as
Electro was so terrible, but man, did they
were bad in their original movies, and they actually turned them around. And the villains actually were almost. I mean, they're right there with Tom Holland's Spider-Man as far as importance when it comes to telling this story. Each one of them was important. You didn't feel like they really just, here's a villain. No, these villains were important to the story.
Well, I think Lizard took a backseat. They could have done a little bit more with him. But you're right. They took the villains even from Garfield's movies and made them more interesting than what they were in the original films when they were the main bad guy. And I don't think anyone got shortchanged screen time except for maybe Lizard. I think he was kind of on the back seat. But even
he
with
was the
Sandman,
simplest villain, so.
Well, he was, but I mean, Sandman was phenomenal.
Oh no, I love the end of his story and what he was trying to do because he's never been a bad guy. For the real comic book fans, the Sandman's always been a guy with the worst luck. Like that literally was his thing. Is he just was so unlucky that all the situations he got into were a combination of his own not being that smart, and also really bad luck. But he's a guy that wants to see his kid, and they kept that.
Oh, absolutely, and the fact that they had Dennis Hayden Church again come back and play Sandman, I thought was phenomenal. But I have to say, I think that the most excited my kids got was when Ned opened the portal and Andrew Garfield walked out because they were calling for Peter, and they thought it was their Peter.
That
Parker.
was an amazing scene because I did not know, and it was good.
One of my twins, huge Spider-Man fan. We have all the Spider-Man films because of him. He has a ton of action figures and bobbleheads and stuff. He was grinning from ear to ear. His eyes were just as wide as they possibly can be. He was so excited. And then when Tobey Maguire showed up, the whole theater lost it at that point. So it was. I think they did each incarnation justice. And the last thing I'm going to turn it over to you guys, but I know Q's not nearly as excited about this as I am. But at the final scene after the credits, where a piece of the Venom symbiote was on the counter at the bar, opens up a way to bring Venom into this universe, into this multiverse plane, whatever you want to call it. Keep their regular Venom off to the side because there are fans of that Venom. But that gives them an opportunity to hopefully do a proper comic book Venom story in this incarnation of Sony Spider-Man with Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. Because the very first Venom we got was trash. It was terrible. This other Venom, while it's a good film and my family has enjoyed it, it's not the Venom that I read. The story is completely sideways. But it's funny. It had, and we have watched it multiple times. But the ability to have that separate, where we can still enjoy that, plus a properly well done Venom, is exciting to me because that's one of the things that I have not seen yet on film. The cartoon Venom saga back in the '90s, phenomenal. I've watched probably 20 times with my son because we have the DVD. So I am excited about that one. You may be a little more pessimistic about it.
Well, I actually thought you were referencing the I thought the last stinger was the Doctor Strange trailer, and that's because that was basically the last stinger I thought, and that's why I was like, you don't really have to watch the last stinger because the last stinger, just a Doctor Strange.
Oh, did I get it back? Okay, maybe I got him backwards then. But no, the one with Tom Hardy is the one that I was geeking out on.
That happened before the Doctor Strange because I was having a really good time until that trailer, the Doctor Strange one. And even then, it looked really good. The references. Well, okay, I'm gonna let you get yours out. I'll do mine.
I don't want to really go over the Doctor Strange trailer because I don't think that's part of this review.
Okay,
and
that's a separate discussion point. I agree. We'll talk about it some other time.
We'll talk about it, but I mean, as far as the Venom thing, no, I'm cool with that. Like, I didn't really want the Venom movies to be part of this universe, but to have a chance for a new Venom in this universe, I'm glad for that. I can see that going off really well. Now, as far as the movie goes, I mean, yeah, like I said, the bringing in all the villains was really awesome. Yeah, Now, you didn't talk a lot about it, but the three Spider-Man, when the three Spider-Man, I will say, what's his face? The oldest one,
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. As an adult, Tobey Maguire was hard for me to look at because he looked like an old child. Because he still looked like a child, but he had age in his face.
That's Tom Holland's future because he doesn't look his age.
And it was just, I kept being weirded out by his look. And that was probably the only real distraction I had in that movie was just his look. But that may be just me. But in the end, what they managed to do with this movie was they ended up taking 3 trilogies, sewing them together. 3 trilogies that before this had no reference to each other. Somehow managed to put those together and made a trilogy of trilogies that was fucking amazing, you know. And they even took some of the things that I wasn't a fan of in the other trilogies and made them better and corrected them to the point where it made the other trilogies better.
Like, if you saw this and went back and watched the other trilogies, you wouldn't hate them as much because you'll be like, they're fixing that. They're fixing that. Okay, they're going to fix that.
So I mean, yeah, the magic that this movie did was quite
that scene
amazing.
There was incredible.
But yeah, and there is so many good scenes that even in the spoiler, we'd be talking for 3 hours if we went over every good scene. But
oh yeah,
it was definitely.
By the way, just to say that Doctor Strange was awesome too.
Doctor Strange was awesome too. Oh yeah, Doctor Strange did. I mean, his part in the movie was really good. I liked how they brought in his 2 closest friends, really integrated them into the story where they were just as much a part of the story as Spider-Man. You know, it's like everybody had their moment in this movie, which you would normally think would cause a disjointed loss, you know, as far as the movie goes, but they managed to hook it all together really well. So yeah, I have really no complaints about this movie. Right. Like I said, the 3 Spider-Men though, it threw me, and everybody in the theater lost it at that moment,
including me.
Like you said, I lost it, and I'm not an emotional movie watcher. Okay. Like, he's over there usually laughing his ass off, talking, you know, I'm over there, shut the fuck up, Q. And
I didn't say shit this movie. I was just sitting there, man, absorbing it.
And I mean, I was engrossed in this movie. I laughed when everybody else laughed, because I was just in it that much. And not many movies have done that for me. So, got to give them mad props for that.
Well, I'm trying to wrap this up at 5:30, so I'm going to try to keep this under 10.
All right.
You guys covered a lot of good points. So I'm going to cover the things they didn't say. First and foremost, the word for this movie that I want to use is redemption. This movie takes every single character that was in it. And I don't mean just in story. Out of story, every actor gives a better performance. Andrew Garfield, to me, was not a terrible Spider-Man, but not the best. He's fucking good in this movie. If this was the Spider-Man we got, we never would have got Tom Holland. Like, he is a way better Spider-Man. Tobey, awesome. He comes off as an older Spider-Man that's kind of reached that point. And they even have conversations that portray that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's got there. He's like, I'm in my groove. I'm older. I'm almost done with this. But I've got the MJ. I've got a family. I'm settled. Andrew Garfield's the Spider-Man who's going through trouble. He even says, I stopped pulling my punches. He's the one that's still wrestling with all the dark stuff that happened in his movies because they were darker. And Tom Holland, dude, Tom Holland's the best because of one thing. He's a tribute to the Spider-Man we grew up with. The Spider-Man who doesn't kill. The Spider-Man that tries to do the right thing at all costs. Doesn't desire power, doesn't desire fame, and puts others first. The self-sacrificing Spider-Man we know and love, he portrays. He ends this movie as the Spider-Man we know. It's a little bit almost of a downer ending, but uplifting at the same time. Redeeming. Dr. Octopus, credible performance. Already loved him, but great. Jamie Foxx really improves the Electro character. I actually like Electro, and it's a good character. Sandman, excellent performance. We're gonna save the best for last. And unlike you guys, I like the Lizard because I think they did him right. He's the most inhuman, and he is in the background, creepy, alien. He'll make a wise comment, like he said. There'll be consequences. He'll make the odd comment, but it's almost like he doesn't have a human mind anymore, and that was portrayed in his speech and actions.
Hang on. No, what I said was he didn't get proper share of screen time.
True.
I didn't say he wasn't good.
But that added to his minutes. I agree with you. You're 100% right, but I think they did it on purpose so that he was this kind of in the background monstrous figure. And it played because, man, he was scary. He was scary in this.
Sandman and the Lizard, the two that didn't have a lot of screen time, it wouldn't have worked with a lot of screen time. I mean, the Lizard, unless you're doing a lot of the action, he doesn't have a lot going for him.
Well, also, with any character like that that's all CGI, the only character that's 100% CGI other than Sandman, which it works, because Sandman isn't going to look realistic, he's sand.
Yeah.
They kept him off the screen to keep you invested, which I'm going to roll into the best character, because they did that too. They took off the helmet. But he was menacing. Like, dude, the scene where you don't even see him, but he's in the truck and you can see the truck rocking, I suddenly was like, oh, shit. I can't remember the last time I thought the Lizard was a threat, but he comes off as friggin' and when he jumps through the portal, absolute menace. When they take him down, I was like, whew, all right, because I was afraid he was going to eat somebody. Like, this Lizard gave off the vibe he might bite someone's head off. And it was well done. Now, best villain, William Dafoe has, to me, almost the largest redemption, even more than Doc Ock, because I already liked Doc Ock. But they get rid of the mask, and it works. He comes off as terrifying. He is menacing as hell this whole movie. His chewing the scenery works in a way it never did in the original movie, and it's just masterpiece. His new look is great. I loved it with the hoodie. I felt it worked really well, easily, and like most improved. Well, I don't know. Electro was really bad. But no, Goblin was the most improved from his original incarnation.
I mean, I didn't hate the Goblin to begin with. I mean, he did a good job the first time. I think Electro is still the most improved. I just
he
don't.
Was really bad. But
Electro was the one I was most worried about. The Goblin, he's probably the most terrifying. But the one that you were worried, how are we going to take this guy down, had to be Electro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just glad he wasn't as corny.
From his original incarnation with Andrew Garfield and Amazing Spider-Man 2 versus this one, it's night and day. It's completely different character almost.
But they made good references.
Almost. Oh, they did.
Like he says he doesn't want to kill Tom Holland, Spider-Man, because he never killed anybody in the other movie. He's not a murderer. He's a guy that enjoys the power, but he's not really evil. And he does that. He's like, I'm not trying to kill anybody. You remember he says that in the thing? He's like, don't make me kill you. I don't want to kill you, because he never killed anyone in his movie.
Yeah. But I think I know we only got a couple minutes left, but I do want to bring up one more point. I think probably my favorite scene in the whole film is Web Envy, when they're talking about the different powers and talking about, I have to use canisters. Well, mine's organic, and it's so.
And the weird questions they asked was awesome.
Yeah. Oh no, the three Spider-Men played off each other beautifully.
Very well.
Yeah, but that was probably my favorite part was talking about the different abilities that each one has in their own incarnations of Spider-Man. I thought that was really, really interesting, because that's something that we would do. You know, if we were all the same character or same person from different multiverses, and we got together, okay, what can you do versus what I can do? And because that's what guys are going to do, especially when they're just when there's just those three together. So I thought that was really well written, and I thought it also gave Tobey Maguire a little reason to get that wry smile that he does so well.
But to wrap it up, like, his word trilogy of trilogies just wowed me when he said it. Like when he originally said it, I was like, that's getting into the show, because that's what they did. They somehow made this movie the ender for all of the movies, and it did it so well that it retroactively fixes everything and makes them better. This is a box set that we know you're going to buy because you own all of them. Your kid's not going to let you get away with it. But this is a box set's going to be amazing because this movie is the final movie of every trilogy. Yeah. This is Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man 3, and then Spider-Man 3. It is literally the ending to every trilogy.
This is a box set that won't have to leave a movie out.
Or like Alfred as a digital later because somebody was whining like a little punk ass.
Well, I was making a Ghostbusters.
I know. I was talking about the little. I hate that.
Children's Choice Awards. Yeah.
Now they ended up the Stinger.
Yeah.
I was misrepresented by Blood Axe. Actually, while I hate the Venom, the newer Venom, the Stinger was perfect. They didn't F up the story with them being there. Because originally they said that they planned to have them be a way bigger part. That would have been terrible. It would have fucked up the whole chemistry between the three Spider-Men. It really would have. But leaving the symbiote, they already even showed you signs. Did you notice how angry he was that when he almost offs Goblin?
Mm-hmm.
They showed that darkness, and now he's alone. He doesn't have anything. So he's way more vulnerable to the symbiote, and nobody warned him about the symbiote. The one guy that had the symbiote didn't warn him about the symbiote. So he's very vulnerable, being younger, very upset, very distraught to the symbiote. I think they can do a much better interpretation of Venom.
Spider-Man without an Aunt May in a world that just got the symbiote.
And no one knows him. He lost everything. He's the most vulnerable he's ever been.
You're right. He is. He has no one.
He's not. The Avengers don't remember him. None of that. He's got nothing.
That's a bad combination.
He is very vulnerable to the symbiote. So this is some fucking material. Yeah. And he got and Eddie gets told about Spider-Man. So the symbiote going after Spider-Man would make a lot of sense. And why would he be? Okay. Go ahead,
the symbiote is going to be attracted to him based on what Eddie was feeling before he left. So you're absolutely right. It's going to seek him out intentionally. Now it may jump from person to person to get there, but I think it's definitely.
Well, also remember that symbiote functions on a proper host. He may be the only person that's genetically compatible. That's also a factor of that symbiote.
Right, because you're referencing the Venom movie to where the symbiote just can't attach anybody, but it has to be genetically compatible.
Mm-hmm.
But I also really liked the reference that Tom Hardy dropped about the Lethal Protector comic series that I still have every single one of, and I think 3 or 4 of the very first foil episode of that line. But yeah, it was a very well written scene. I think you're right. I think you're bringing in Tom Hardy's Venom into this Spider-Man universe would have caused a lot of problems, but the way that they keep them separate but introduce Venom here and keep Venom there and can continue making Venom movies is phenomenal. I think it was a brilliant strategy, and hopefully we'll be able to get a proper, true to the comic Venom story with Tom Holland, because what we got with Tobey Maguire was true to the comic, but it was so bad.
Well, let me give you the headcanon. Headcanon. This is why I think it'll work.
Time for the headcanon?
No, it's short. The headcanon works too because when Venom in the Venom movies attached to Eddie Brock, what's the main trait that Venom portrayed? I'm a loser. We're a loser. Eddie Brock is a loser and thinks he's a loser. Thus, we'll probably get the darker Venom because Tom Holland, by Spider-Man, has a lot of pent-up frustration, anger, and loneliness, which means you'll probably get, if it reflects the owner, a darker symbiote. Then, when it switches to him to the more darker, evil Eddie Brock, if they introduce Eddie Brock in his universe, it'll probably be angrier, more distraught Eddie Brock. Then you get a darker Venom, which I want. I want Lethal Protector Venom. I don't want weird, goofy, loser boy Venom. I want, friggin' dangerous, menacing Venom.
Yeah, I don't want Flash Thompson Venom either. I want a proper Eddie Brock.
God, no. Why would you even? I mean, I know there was a while, but no. Ooh, that's wrong.
Especially the actor that plays Flash Thompson. That's just not Flash Thompson. I think that's the part of all the Spider-Man films that I really just cannot stomach is the actor that's playing Flash. That's not.
Well, that's why they
Flash
put him
that
in the
I'm
background so
interested
much, because it's a terrible.
Yeah.
I know I like the MJ. I've actually grown very fond of the
yeah.
MJ. I liked it. Even the other Spider-Man. No, the villains were like, "That's his girlfriend. That's way better than." Like even the villains were like, "Man, that MJ is awesome." Like the villains were impressed with that MJ, and I actually have really grown to like her. I actually have grown to like her a lot better, because honestly, the redheaded MJ to me was always sucky compared to Gwen Stacy. Anyway, this MJ reminds me more of Gwen Stacy. So I like this MJ.
Well,
I
I
like
mean,
his friend.
Some of the splinters of did do a stronger MJ, and will say the stronger MJ has always been a more of a staple for me. I like that character as more independent, and
yes,
so.
Which is why I liked Gwen Stacy, because she always has been portrayed that way. She's never been portrayed as an airhead, wannabe actress, selfish. But like, so anyway, we'll stop it there because we're past the time. But amazing movie, all the parts
watching.
good. Next episode, we will cut a section to talk about that last trailer, just so you know why I'm so angry.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
I want to see the movie, but I just don't want that character in it.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna say one word:
I'll watch it.
America
Yeah, no.
Chavez.
Oh, all right.
America Chavez. Look her up, and you'll know why I hate it.
Yeah, the only Marvel movie coming up that I'm remotely interested in is going to be Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. That's the only one I'm really interested in. The other ones I could care less about.
You probably don't know America Chavez, though, do you?
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our videos on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Whatever video you're watching right now, so you can catch all the videos we do. We do this every week live on Twitch. We do our show. You can you'll get to see that, plus gaming videos from Mr. Bloodaxe. He does some awesome gaming videos. Occasionally Q does.
Rare.
Once in a blue moon, I'll do something.
I mean, when they put out a co-op game, you'll see me out with Mr. Bloodaxe, but
there you go. All right, guys. You can check us out at Dicejunkies.com to find links everywhere we are online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to hit those notifications there. And as always, we hope you enjoy.
You nailed it. How'd you nail it? No one nails it.